lettuce wrists, cabbage hands. Is anyone in goal? Give me all of this.
I didn't have any like sports trainers at the time for some reason, so I had these Vans on. You know Vans?
Yeah, no, I know Vans. I might be 39, but I'm not an idiot.
I think I was just loud and I was just being myself and that, and it was like, oh, he's on trial, and he couldn't get his head round that I was a trialist. I just settled in from like the second I got here, and been on a couple of trials before. And
So welcome back to Life for Kitman. We're joined by Nnamdi Ofoborh. If you haven't watched the Paul video yet, go and watch that after you've watched this, because that was.
You've already clicked on it, so you might as well just stay on.
Yes, just stay on here and then go watch that afterwards. You right, Nams?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Not very good at Paul.
We've been waiting ages for this one since he signed.
Literally,
we've been on him.
Yeah.
How much we wanted this, so we're buzzing to have him on that.
Yeah. So welcome.
Anything for my boys.
You right, Joe?
Yeah, all good. All I am now. Yeah.
He is not. He is not right. I'm moving because there's the board.
Okay.
Like always, straight into the final.
There's the pen. Straight into your final.
We've just been told that he might not be going with a keeper, but
Not mine, no. I'm not going with a keeper at all.
just ignore the yellow one.
Ignore the keeper.
Pretend it's red.
I'm going with two lefties at the back, yeah. So I'm going with Nathan
Ake.
and then
That's a good start.
I'm going with my boy Calvin Bassey.
From one of
Those are my
those
two
two.
at the back.
Why are those two?
Calv, this is like my best friend, so he kind of gets a bump above a lot of people.
All right, Calv.
Nathan Ake, to be fair, honestly, he is
Jokes.
probably the best. When I was first training with him, I always used to wonder, like, why is he so good? He don't really say much, didn't really train much. Then one time I think I just literally watched him the whole session and he didn't even say anything, but everything he did was just detailed, perfect. And I thought, bro, if that's the level I need to get to, then bro, I'm miles away. So him being at City and
the
Champions League.
What I love about him is that he was obviously at Chelsea,
Yeah,
which is one of the biggest clubs in.
for sure.
Yeah, and then he's obviously dropped down to Bournemouth, which is still in the Prem. Did he play in the Champ with them, or was it just Prem?
No, he
Just
played
Prem.
yeah.
And then he managed to showcase what he had, and then got to
Go
the
back
top.
to the
and
top
now he's
level.
won multiple Premier Leagues, Champions League. So that's what I like about.
So for him to obviously play for City and him going to do that, that wasn't a shock to me at all.
No, of course.
So, not a shock to anyone in the team. So yeah, rightfully so.
Fair
That's
enough.
the guy right there.
Two mids.
My two mid. I'm not even going with centre mid. You know, I'm going with wingers.
Oh my god.
Open.
Open.
No, don't worry.
Finals. Don't matter, does it?
Goals win you games. So on this is the right side. So the right side, I'm going with David Brooks. Going with Brooksy. And then on the left, I'm going with none other than, you don't know, I talk about him all the time. So I'm going with none other than Jaden Anthony. Those are my two wingers. They're going to win me the game.
Striker.
My striker.
And then we'll talk about the three of them.
None other than Jermaine. Defoe.
Jermaine,
There
what
you go.
a team that is.
So you got Sturdy. Even if I want to, he can rotate
He
to
can
midfield.
just strike in.
If we're getting a
Yeah.
bit new school with it, you know, if we're getting a bit woke, I get my centre backs rolling inside. You know what I'm saying?
And he's so good on the ball.
Yeah, so
I like when they come wide, he can drive in
yeah,
there.
you see, like,
Come on.
so
There's
yeah,
pace at the back as well.
pace at the back, and bro,
He's defo getting
this is this is Mr. SOS himself. Shoot on sight, and I think anyone that played with him, anyone that's played
Well,
against
that
him,
Rangers, yeah?
yeah. And obviously I was with him at Bournemouth as well.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
yeah.
So anyone that tells you anything about anyone that played with him, played against him, will tell you that you give him a yard.
Do you think he's a little bit underrated, like his career?
Yeah, no, massively underrated. To score as many goals as he did in the Premier League, and to not play for, let's say, one of the traditional big four clubs.
This is
do what he
showing
did.
age.
Yeah,
I remember him when he was at West Ham, just coming through, and he went on loan to Bournemouth the first time.
yeah.
And he scored a stupid amount of goals in what is it now? League One now.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
he scored. I believe he scored 12 and 12 or
Yeah,
it was about
just
14
just
14.
a
but-
joke.
Yeah.
Scored so many goals.
I never
It was
forget,
just-
we played Portsmouth in 2007 in a pre-season friendly, and him and Peter Crouch were up front for Portsmouth. My brother was
Wow.
mascot. So I always
Yeah,
remember that
the
game.
original big and small.
Yeah,
So
joke.
yeah, he's just unbelievable.
Obviously,
And
David
he's a great
Brooks.
guy. David Brooks, played with him when he was at Bournemouth, and honestly, a wonder of a left foot magician. We thought when he first come in that he weren't really gonna play much, and then he got a chance in the team, and he just continued from what he was doing at Sheffield. He's had a bit of a setback in terms of being ill and whatnot. So I spoke to him a couple of times and spoke to him on a level as he can relate to something a little bit different from everyone else. And just to see him back playing and doing his thing in the Premier League brings me a lot of joy. But yeah, he is the real deal, and I believe that if he continues playing for Bournemouth, he won't be there for long, for sure.
What about a gaffer for your team?
The gaffer. I'm gonna speak on the boy Anthony first.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna speak on the boy Anthony first, and then I'm gonna go to Gaffer. Jaden Anthony, Gav will know a bit more. Gav will know a bit about him as well. Obviously, it was all a youth team together, and yeah, he's just the best. He's the best.
Sure.
I stole my ball roll from him. As you know, I get a lot of
That
people.
little one, yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of people. I embarrass a lot of people in training with it, so I work from him. He's doing his thing right now.
Was that where you got it?
Yeah,
The little.
I stole it from him.
Ah.
So, but yeah, no, he's the real deal. He has
Boys on the floor.
So yeah, my front three, regardless of how many goals we concede,
Yeah,
which we will not with these two back there.
Yeah.
But if we did, these three will outscore your three. So
You can just leave them to deal with that.
Before
you can leave
we go
them
on manager, is there anyone that you haven't mentioned that was close or that you'd like to mention on that?
yeah, no,
'Cause you've played
yeah,
with
for sure. Before
He's been struggling with his team.
Yeah, I've been struggling with my team all day. I got Joe. I got Glenn.
Jerry.
The pure technicians. So if let's say I went with a different angle, and just pure control, I would have gone with them two. I would have had Gav in there for sure, because Gav,
Okay.
yeah, but Gav loses too many five-a-sides. But Gav is the player, like the player's player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
it's a joy to play with him in midfield. He's making me look better every week. So yeah, I think those three. Danjuma would have been a good shout. Obviously, I couldn't bench the four, but Dom Solanke is also the real deal.
yeah.
As you can see at him doing that Tottenham
Like
right
you
now.
don't go for that amount of money if
Yeah, no, I think obviously just like Nathan Ake, to be fair, with them being from Chelsea and obviously not really getting their chance, and it's a little bit tough for them, I think.
the amount of players that have come up through Chelsea and then obviously not broke through there and then have gone on, and then the amount. Think how much money like.
Yeah, I've been in the academy system for a while, and anyone that has been in the academy system for a while will tell you in England that Chelsea have been the kings for God knows how many years.
Few decades.
Yeah, and I've had my fair share of beatings at Cobham training ground,
Yeah.
and to see most of my age group at Chelsea obviously come through, and they're doing their thing now. So it's not really a surprise when I see any of them having any rebirths or having any sort of comebacks from a worldly standpoint, because they've always had that ability.
Class. Gaffer.
Manager, I'm gonna go Eddie Howe. Just a tactical genius, as you can see from what he's doing at Newcastle right now. He's just honestly taking them to new heights. But just on a personal level for me, obviously he spent a lot of time with me after training that he probably didn't have to do, helping me improve my game, not only as a midfielder but also, if possible, to drop in that centre half. And the time he spent with me helped me take me to another level and got me prepared. And if I didn't have that training, my first loan and the way my career in terms of how I play now wouldn't be the same. So for sure, Eddie Howe.
A kit for your team to play in?
One that you've played in.
I'm gonna get them this third kit.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get them this season's
Why
third
not? We
kit.
don't-
I'd love
wow.
to see some of these players with
Yeah.
that kit. To
Like,
be fair.
imagine that.
Yeah, I think
Imagine Defoe in that, smashing balls
that's
in.
what I'm saying.
Unbelievable.
Get the Under Armour. I can trust these two to have the Under Armour on and the gloves.
For
I can
sure.
trust him. He might even just know Under Armour.
Yeah, he might just get Shorts t-shirt.
I
East London.
remember him
big
in
man.
gloves a lot though, Defoe.
Yeah, but I'm gonna vouch for him and say he's gonna score a hattie anyway. So he's gonna score my hattie. And these two.
Doesn't Bassey always wear gloves as well?
Yeah, I don't know why he started that this season.
What's that about?
No Under Armour gloves. I've done it before.
Right, talk to me. So, we'll wear shorts and socks and no one will say a word,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you wear short sleeve shirt and gloves, people say it's weird. How's it any different?
I don't think it's weird, but I can see why people think it's weird. Because really and truly, my arms don't get cold, my hands do. So it's like, it's understandable.
Yeah, but that's why you wear socks and shoes, because you're outside and you've got socks on,
Yeah.
keep your feet warm, blah, blah. You can wear shorts with socks, but you can't wear a short sleeve shirt with gloves. Well, why not?
Hey man.
That's mad. That's a question for everyone.
You know, some people don't like change.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, he's doing this thing in the Prem, man.
Keep your hands.
If you're keeping clean sheets and you're playing how he's playing,
Fulham are doing well as well.
you can wear whatever you want.
Yeah,
So,
don't
yeah.
Decent. Love that. Great team. I'm going to put it there.
No.
So it's maybe on camera. I'm not too sure how wide we are.
Yeah.
But perfect.
Right, so obviously, let's go back to where it all started then. Obviously, you started your youth career through at Millwall. At which age did that come about and you get
So-
scouted there?
Obviously, youth-wise, I've been, like I said, I've been in the system for a while. Call it the system, but like the academy stuff for a
Yeah,
while.
we know.
Yeah.
I started off at Charlton when I was about 6 or 7.
Okay.
And when they were meant to sign me, I carried on playing for my Sunday League team, Lewisham Youth. And like while I was training with them, I was also playing on the weekends with my Sunday League team. And then I ended up getting scouted for Tottenham around the same time. I was just about to get signed for Charlton, and my dad was like, "Well, you might as well have a chance or give it a go."
Yeah.
And then the week Charlton were going to sign me, the week after Tottenham decided they were going to sign me, so I decided, listen, bigger club, bigger
What league was
players.
Charlton in then? Do you remember?
I believe like when I was about 6, I think they were in the Prem and then they just got relegated
Yeah.
down to the champ. So then,
But obviously Tottenham are a good club.
yeah, but
That's not on your Wikipedia page, by the way.
no, it wouldn't be. It was probably a little bit too
It
far
says
back.
youth career, Millwall.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then obviously I was at Tottenham for quite a few years. Probably some players that I probably could have thrown in there, but I was there till about 14, 15, and then I got released. Luckily enough, my school team, there was about 5 or 6 boys that were at Millwall at the time.
Yeah.
So they told their coach that I got released and whatnot. Their coach was like, "Oh, since he's from Tottenham, we might as well just let him come down." So I went down and I got the opportunity to sign. So I was basically just playing with my mates at Millwall. So it was fun, to be fair.
You want to enjoy football at that age as well. so.
Yeah. Especially a lot of academy boys will tell you like it's not as enjoyable as everyone thinks it is because you're fighting for a contract from the age of 8, and everything's so serious, so detailed.
It must be tough in London as well, because obviously I know there's a lot of professional clubs in London, but the catchment area and the population of
Yeah,
London,
the amount of
the amount of
competition.
people,
Yeah,
the amount of local teams there must be, people playing on the streets.
yeah. I think
It's still quite a
London. Like if you're from South London, is massive as it is, and there's a whole load of footballers from South London. Some that I believe many that I believe should have made it today. That are probably just still playing in non-league or not playing at all.
Yeah.
So it's real. You gotta have some real bite about you to survive in South London, on and off the pitch. So yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful. I got a bit lucky with the Millwall one. I went on a bucket load of trials and no one really took me in. I went back to Charlton. They didn't take me in. I tried to go to Palace. They tried to send me to development centre, and I thought, that's crazy. I've just come from Tottenham, but as a kid, you don't really understand the ins and outs of things.
Yeah.
So playing at Millwall was fun.
Yeah, and obviously you were there until under 18, is that right?
No, I didn't get a scholar there, so I got released at 16.
Okay.
So it's about a year and a half later, maybe 2 years later.
And then you did, the scholar at Bournemouth,
I didn't think it was the right decision, but it played out in my part.
Yeah.
I remember the last thing I went into a meeting because I played a couple games for the 18s, so to not get a scholar after playing 18s was a bit crazy. So I went into the meeting, my dad was a little bit shocked, and he was like, oh, but why is he not getting it, and this is that, and I think that's probably the first time I ever really spoke back to my dad or interrupted him in any kind of way.
No, really?
Yeah, I just said to him, listen, yeah, you don't got to do all of that. I just said whatever paperwork they want me to sign to say I got released, I'll sign it now, and I said they'll regret it. And so let's just end this meeting short. So he was like, oh, let me explain, and I was like,
No need.
you ain't got to do all of that.
How did Bournemouth come about then? From that?
Yeah, so obviously I got released from Millwall, and I was kind of just floating in life in terms of schoolwork and football. You're not really having a steady home or not having a contract ready for after school. So I'm from a background of hardworking parents who, especially as Nigerians, you know, you have to focus in school and be good in school. So I think we done mock exams, and I had a bad set of mock exams because I didn't really care, and my mum was really upset about it, but she didn't understand that I didn't really try out, you know, and I was trying to, in school I tried to be clever, like if I could cheat on the test, I cheat on the test, simple as that. If I can't cheat,
Don't listen to it, kids.
yeah.
Work hard in school.
No. So yeah, like, me and my friends, we'd always try to find loopholes, and for some reason this time I didn't find no loopholes. And then she was really upset about it, and I said, you know, and obviously you don't know, I'm a try to be as serious with God and be as good as a Christian as I can be. So I think that was the first day I picked up my Bible again and just was like, you know, I'm gonna take life serious from now. I started training by myself, and if my boys were playing football at goals or whatever, instead of taking bus and going to the chicken and chip shop before that, I'd run there. And then a guy that was looking after me at the time just said, you know, there's a week trial in Bournemouth for you to go with someone else. I think some other boy from the area, and I was just like, yeah, that'll be the last trial I ever go on in my life. So yeah.
Fair enough.
How was the experience at Bournemouth then? Obviously, were they in the Prem at that point?
Yeah, they were in the Prem. Obviously, like, as club-wise and stature-wise, Bournemouth wasn't the biggest club.
No,
so,
of course.
Academy-wise, they were in Cap 3, but the club was in the Prem, so it's like there was a big gulf between what the two were. I still remember like my first week.
What year was that then?
2016. That was that year was a lot for me in terms of.
I was just thinking because like I didn't come here until 2018.
Yeah, so 2016.
But like my first game was at Bournemouth with the lads.
Yeah. So.
But it was a couple of years later. So.
Yeah, it was a big year for me. Obviously, coming from South London, I lost a couple of my friends that year, and then I moved away from home that year. So.
Did you go into digs?
Yeah, I went into digs.
How did you find that?
My first digs was horrific. So.
It sounds like that.
No. I've been in my fair share of digs. I think I stayed in about 5 or 6 different digs, but my first one, I stayed in it with Jaden, me, Jaden, and a goalkeeper called Will, and it was horrible. We, my mum, the first day they dropped me off, you know, mothers and that moving away. Normally you move away at 18 for uni, but I moved away at 16, so everyone was like, oh, maybe she's a bit over exaggerating. When we got into the house, the woman was like, yeah, you're not allowed in the fridge, you're not allowed in the kitchen, you're not allowed in the living room, basically just allowed in our rooms. And that already kind of set the tone for what it was going to be. And then not only that, my mum's terrified of dogs. And the dog, as soon as we walked in, pissed on the floor. So that was another another sign that, you know, this might not be the place to stay.
Yeah.
And then if anything happened at the house, like, we'd be eating dinner and the whole family would be eating something else, and then we'd be eating packet food and sitting on the same table with them. And it's just not really what you'd do if...
So hang on a minute. So you're staying with them, and they're cooking food for their own family, but not for you guys.
So the woman had about 3 sons, and they were like 20 in their 20s. Yeah. And a couple of them would come back down for dinner and whatever. So they would eat their own food. So let's say if it was a Sunday, they'd be eating Sunday roast. Yeah. And then we just eat whatever was in the
Like a
packet.
ready meal. Okay.
Yeah, whatever was in the packet that day. Then I got myself kicked out. She used to like anything that would happen in the house. She called instead for like her to tell us. She called the coach and just be like, "This person Nnamdi's behaving bad again." But the club kind of knew that she wasn't really a good woman.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not happy to say that I really don't like her. And I'm a likable person. I like everyone, but
Nnamdi don't dislike anyone.
yeah, that's probably the only enemy I have in life. She said that I brought mud into the house, but I was wearing sliders that day. So I went back from training and before we walked in the door, I turned around to Jaden and I was like, listen, I'm about to light this place up. I'm about to light it up. Like if she tries me, I'm gonna go there. So I was like to him, listen, don't say anything so you don't get in trouble, but I'm doing this. I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for us. So obviously as we walked to the door, she was waiting for me and she was like, oh, like, I got a bone to pick with you. I was like, funny enough, like I got a bone to pick with you. And then kind of just went back and forth, and then she was like, it was like a real movie scene. Like I kind of said, you know what, this is kind of getting out of hand. Let me go up the stairs and walk off. And as I was walking off the stairs, walking off, she was like, if you don't want to be here, then leave. And I turned around, I was like, you think I want to be here? I'm gonna leave. And then I was like, I called, go upstairs and pack my bag. I went upstairs and packed my bag.
Wow.
Left
Where did you go?
to another digs. Lovely family.
Yeah, but like, so in that moment, though,
Yeah,
where did you go? Like,
Sure, yeah.
I wanted to leave, and then they said that obviously I couldn't just walk out with 2 flipping full suitcases and just on the road.
imagine.
So they
Stood outside the house going, what do I do now? Yeah, thumb out looking for a lift.
they made me apologise reluctantly, and then I had to stay that night, and then that next
Good boy.
morning I was good boy.
Good
Good boy. I was playing for a contract.
Oh,
I was
good
great,
boy.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Then I left the next morning.
Do as you're told.
Yeah, for sure.
How your life at Bournemouth started.
Oh,
So how was the football side of it?
yeah.
No, the football side was amazing. Obviously, playing with good players and obviously being comfortable.
Yeah.
As the first year, we ran the second years out of town. They never really stood a chance with us first years that were coming through. Because it was the first year that Bournemouth had gone outside of Bournemouth to recruit players.
Of course.
So us lot coming in from London, there was about 3 or 4 of us, and then Gav obviously coming in from Ireland.
So Gav was in the same age group and the same team as.
Yeah, Gav was in my youth team. And then before maybe September, it was basically just a team of first years and a couple of second years. So yeah, it was good.
And then obviously you had your first loan to Wickham. Was that the COVID year? Was it the year it went into COVID?
It was the year it went into COVID.
Yeah, so you went there, I think you played something like we seen earlier, 25 games that season.
Yeah.
How was that for you, your first loan?
Yeah.
Obviously closer back to London.
Yeah, obviously I'd been training with the first team for quite a while at this point at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't really playing any 21s games because there wasn't really any purpose to it.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe thought so, and I was learning more in training with those players and playing against those players than I would have in games. So I was just basically just on the cusp, but because the squad was so big and was in the Prem and they were still investing and trying to move forward, like there wasn't really much space for me to manoeuvre outside of just being in the training squad and stuff like that. So I knew that loans were going to be available. I had a really good pre-season behind me, and they presented Wickham and a couple other clubs, like some in Scotland, some other ones in League 2 and League 1. Wickham made the most sense for me because
Wickham were League One then.
Yeah.
Wickham were League 1. Barry Eze had gone there, and I was at Millwall with him. Me and him were at Millwall together, and he got released. We got released in the same year. So
That's a nightmare, aren't they?
yeah, so we got released. We got released in the same year, and so obviously I knew him well, and I knew he had gone. I think the season before on loan and had an amazing first half of the season, and then left. So and then I knew Fred had also gone there on loan from Millwall. So I thought, alright, cool. It's a manager that's willing to give young boys a chance and people from my area a chance. So I thought, that makes sense to me.
And obviously it ended in a promotion
Yeah,
at Wembley against our rivals Oxford. So cheers for that.
Yeah, no, the season was amazing. The changing room was special. Like we had
Second Fenway still there.
Yeah, we had 2 generals, obviously Matt Bloomfield, the manager of Luton now, and Akin Fenway running the change room, and then we just had a really good group. I think we went into that season predicted to finish rock bottom, Something about the lowest budget. I don't really know about no budgets or none of that, but you know that was the talk at the time. And then we kind of just, obviously League One was full of big clubs at this time. So Sunderland was there, Portsmouth, Ipswich, and Peterborough, and Oxford is a big club. Relax. Big club. So
we're not getting into it. This is about you, not
but yeah, no, there was loads of big teams in the league at the time. And then we kind of, my debut game, we won that game and we ended up going top. So from that moment on, like all their fans will be on social media saying like, this is like an elephant in a tree, like you don't know how it got up there, but you know it's gonna fall. so
That's brilliant.
So we,
that's class.
So like,
remember that one.
So we used to just like, every time we go into a game and stuff like that, we just remember what they said.
Yeah.
Like, you lot don't believe we're gonna be here. If we're not meant to be here, we might as well have fun while we're here.
Yeah, right.
And we just kept going. And remember we had a couple season defining moments. So it was 1-0 up at Rotherham away, and we was under the cosh. You know, Rotherham, it gets physical when you go there. Yeah. So 1-0 up, and then I think around the 75th minute, Akinfenwa shouted like to our defenders like, do they know we can do this all day? And they was all kind of puzzled. The defender was like, shouting to someone else, like the left back, and was like, they don't know we can do this all day. And everyone was just shouting, we can do this all day, we don't care what they throw at us. And like, they were kind of puzzled. They didn't, I don't think they had a shot after that. And then from then,
got in their heads.
Yeah, we went about 2 months without conceding a goal. So I could do it all day, to be fair.
Literally, you could do it all day, every day.
Then obviously COVID happened and we were just outside the playoffs. I think we was one space below the playoffs, but we had played like 2 less games.
Yeah, the points per game put you in it.
So yeah, all the clubs tried to band together to not get us into the playoffs, but the EFL went like, we're doing it on PPG.
Well, it's like us. We were actually second in the league, in League Two.
We finished champions.
Because we played a game less. So we finished top, champions.
Yeah, so you're right.
Who did you play in the semis? I can't remember.
Yeah, so we played Fleetwood in the semis, and you know, obviously, government forgive me, but throughout the whole of COVID, like when everyone was meant to be indoors, like I'm from around the way, so there was a lot of ball sessions happening at the time. And, you know, you jump the fence and you go and play football, and everyone was coming out to play. Like professional footballers would tell you like that was the best time because probably the most relaxed that any professional footballer's kind of been.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was spending a lot of time running 5Ks and playing football.
Keeping fit.
Yeah, keeping fit. So when I came back for pre-season, and a lot of the boys in the team were family men and staying in the house, I was sharp, ready to go.
How much time did you have before the first semi game to train before that game?
2 weeks.
We trained about 3 weeks, but anytime someone in the team got COVID, that training session for the next day got cancelled. So it's kind of
because I remember watching a few of those playoff games on TV, and just like it was weird because there was no fans there, but just like the tempo of the game, it just seemed so different. Which obviously it would
just still sat home, weren't we?
But obviously you made it to the final.
Come on, lads.
What was that like playing at Wembley? But obviously with no one there. Obviously it's unreal to get to Wembley. You're buzzing.
Yeah, I think
it must have been a weird experience.
Like I said, with the whole change room, like obviously we had a couple of boys who had played at Wembley before. It's not obviously the same without your family and your people there and the fans there. I think maybe if the fans were there, it would be a different story that day. Who knows? Might have won by more, might have lost. But to start in that game, I just felt like, you know what, this is what I'm meant to do. Yeah. This is where I'm meant to be. So we kind of went into that game. We went into the tunnel and we was just like, everyone talks about all these teams being better than us and bigger than us. So, okay, we're going to bully everyone. So we just went into the tunnel, and from the moment we kind of looked at them in the tunnel, we thought, they don't really want this. And the game kind of showed that. So yeah.
And then obviously the next year you went back on loan there, didn't you? Obviously when they were in the champ.
Yeah, I went. Obviously I came back and I was hoping that, you know, unfortunately Bournemouth had got relegated at the time, but I was hoping that, you know, I can go back to Bournemouth and say, you know, I got some men's games behind me.
You played a few games for them as well. Was that before or after the Wickham loan?
So it was after the first one, but before I went back the second time.
Yeah, that's what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I obviously pre-season was a little bit further forward that year, and you know the transfer window closed a little bit later. So I thought, you know, I'll try and get as much experience as I can, and if it doesn't work out this season for Bournemouth, then we'll see from there, because it was in the last year of my deal. So I just got a couple of games to play in the champ with them, play with some very good players, and then.
Was the picture of you on the wall at Wickham there when you went back there? Had they already done that, or is that a new thing that we saw a couple of weeks back when we went back?
I think it's a new thing, to be fair. I hadn't seen it before, but it's good to see myself.
You're like, oh my God, it's Nnamdi.
But that club always held a place in my heart, for giving me a chance when no one else really did, and to do that in the first season is crazy. So the captain always, like Matt Bloomfield, always used to say that football's real hard, and he used to like try and talk to me about like men's football and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember at Wembley, I was just like, you lot said this football stuff was hard, bro. First season, promotion. I mean,
we thought when we started this year. We won the league first year.
I can tell you how serious football gets after that. But it's a really good club, very good place.
Yeah, you obviously played another chunk of games there for them in the champ. So you obviously went up 11 and played some games, and then that you just said the Bournemouth deal come to an end that season. So how did that sort of unfold at the end?
Yeah, I think after like that half a season with Bournemouth and realising like, you know, we're still not getting our chance, not only myself but most of the academy boys that I thought already, like Jadon and Gav and stuff like that, and we just, with most players you just need a chance, you know? And we weren't really getting that, and I had obviously gone on loan and they hadn't, so I had a little bit more experience or more exposure to the game, so a lot of people had seen me play and whatnot, and obviously I played internationally for Nigeria and stuff like that, so I was like, alright, cool, you know what, I'm gonna see if this is how it ends, and this is how it ends. You know, sometimes you need to close a chapter even though you don't want to. And then when I did, my agent kind of, you know, said he's gonna do his due diligence and try and mend things as much as possible with Bournemouth, but it just didn't work out that way. And when we got to January, I was kind of surprised with the stature of the clubs that were interested.
And then, obviously, end of that season, you ended up in Scotland.
So I had a few options, or more options, shall I say, more sort of interest. I think there was a couple of clubs in Belgium. Vincent Company was interested when he was at Anderlecht and stuff like that, and then.
That's interesting, because we had a little conversation the other day, a few of our staff and you, and we were talking about playing abroad and that. Is that something that didn't really...
No, it was something I was open to. It was just when I spoke to Steven Gerrard, that was it.
And obviously him, if you've watched the Paul video, he was obviously in your top 5 players that you've looked up to.
I think just speaking to him already was enough for me. But when he said that he thinks I'm a good midfielder, that was me like, yo.
Steven
You know what I'm saying? It was like, I said, bro, like, if Steven Gerrard thinks I'm a good footballer, can't nobody tell me I can't play ball after this. Like, I said, I don't care about nobody's opinion. One of the best midfielders to ever play the game can say I can play midfield, and that to me, that kind of sold it to me. And then obviously, I knew that Cal was up there, I knew Glenn was up there, I knew Joe was up there, and they were doing their thing. And that season, that I couldn't go and join them in Jan, because we tried to get it done in Jan. I couldn't go and join them in Jan, and they ended up winning the league. I thought that's the type of stuff I want to be a part of.
And what a massive club that is. My best mate's a Rangers fan, so I've not been to Ibrox, but I've been to watch a couple of games, and like, just the size of that club.
Massive club. I think if you go to Ibrox and you go to a game, after that, every stadium's real quiet.
Yeah, it's one thing I want to tick off, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
so you go up to Scotland.
Yeah.
When did your health become a...
So it's funny, because see, like I said, I'm from South London, so I don't know, maybe we're just a little bit different to everyone. I think we're different to everyone else. So
I think you're slightly different to everyone else.
I think we're better. I think we're better than everyone else. So
I don't know if you... cheers, Nams.
No, not like that. But, But you just got, like I said, you got to have thick skin to survive in South East London. And me personally on the football pitch, I think if nothing's broken and nothing's torn, I ain't coming off. So when I was playing in the champ for Wickham in that second loan spell, there was parts of games where I wasn't feeling right. And I thought maybe it was just down to purely that the champ's fast and I ain't really played consistently or played any kind of great minutes.
Tempo of the game is just a lot different.
I thought maybe it's just that, so I just carried on saying, you know, I just need to get fit. But really something was wrong. And then it happened a couple of times and I was chasing around some flipping Watford and Norwich players. Yeah. I wasn't feeling too good on the pitch. And I remember like on the bench they were kind of just like telling me like, oh, check your man or whatever, but I was honestly at that point like I was out of it. Like I was there physically, but I wasn't really there. And then we played against Preston in a game, and Anthony Gordon was on loan.
Right.
And it happens in like phases where it would be like 30 seconds, my heart would be racing, and like everything would kind of be moving in slow motion or real fast, and I couldn't really react or do what I normally do. Yeah. And it felt like I was just gonna pass out or drop. But in my head, I thought if I drop, they're gonna make this a big thing, and then it's gonna be in the news. So I was like, I ain't dropping. So I just kind of stumbled around. So Anthony Gordon was 1v1 against me. He threw about 3 step overs, and honestly, I couldn't even see what he did. And then that was there. I was like, straight after that, I was like, nah,
need to go see someone.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up after this. So I originally did like point it out when I was at Bournemouth just before I left, but they just thought maybe it was just stress from the contract stuff. They never really took me serious. And then when I told the Wickham guys, they said, no, that don't sound right. So I saw some specialists and they was like, you have to take the rest of the season off. I was like, 3 months. They told me like, oh, the 3 months, if it cleared, it should clear up in 3 months. And I thought 3 months takes me till about June. So normally that's about when pre-season starts. You don't really want to be going up to Rangers and with all those big players and that massive club and just winning the league and being injured. So I was kind of upset about that already.
But you were like, if I take the three months, then I'll be ready.
It's not. It's
to go.
In terms of risk and reward. Like you take that in terms of just to be ready. So I kind of just sat out the rest of that season for Wickham because it was probably the best from advice from the doctors. And I went up there to Scotland.
Yeah. So what was actually wrong with your heart? What did they say? Like, what did they do?
It came from a virus.
Right.
Probably COVID, to be fair. Basically what would happen was the bacteria or like the virus had spread to the heart, and it's the chance of it happening are 1 in whatever numbers, and it makes the heart swell. So it'll make a part of the heart swell. So when you're at high tempo, and your heart's beating, that part of the heart that's infected with the virus will beat differently to the rest of it, causing it to spiral out of control. So, like the way he kind of explained it to me was that if the top beat, like it kind of goes like that, like one after the other. Right. The part of my heart where it was like affected was the bottom part. So when this is going one, this one would just be going like that. So then what would end up happening was it would just end up stop pumping blood to the rest of the body.
Which is why you were...
That's why I was feeling dizzy and stuff like that for about, and then after about 30 seconds, it just kick back in and just start working again on its own. So obviously they had to get to the bottom of why it was happening, because the heart's so complicated where if let's say you two are heart specialists, you could think one thing and he could think another thing. Yeah. So when they were trying to get to the bottom of it, the specialist at the time, he asked, he has a weekly call or monthly call with like 30 specialists all over the world. Not sports ones, just cardiologists in general. And 15 of them said it was one thing and 15 of them said it was another thing. Wow. So it split right down the middle. So he just said, you know, I'm going to go with my professional advice and I think you could be back in 3 months. So see, that wasn't the case. So the swelling had gone down, but what had happened was because I had played those games in the championship, it scarred.
Right. So it had done some damage.
So if let's say at the time when it first started, it had been noted, then the 3 months would have just flashed by and I would have been back. But
Yeah.
because I had played on it, it ended up scarring, and the scarring means that the swelling's gone, but the scar's still causing the issue.
Yeah.
So the scar was ended up causing it to beat irregularly.
So what did they do?
I ended up. So what they said was, if it's not right after 3 months, it takes 12. So in my head, I thought, that's the season done.
Yeah.
The first season done, and that was a tough one to take. And then things at the club changed. Gerard ended up leaving, going to Villa, taking all his staff. So I thought, well, now I've got a new manager coming in, and he's not the one that brought me in, and everything at the club's changing, and the club's moving so fast. So I thought, I'll just try and see this season out, and then next season they said I'll get an operation, and I thought, alright, cool, I'll get this operation. Once this operation is done, hopefully I'll get back into playing. And the operation was like the scarring that is causing the issue. They kind of they go in there like through here, they freeze it, and then like kind of cut it off. And when they done that, that was the year after I joined. So that next summer, it was probably fine to play, but they thought it might not be safe, because that same month that I did get the operation, Ericsson ended up, or was the year before, Ericsson ended up collapsing.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, the heart stuff was a grey area now, and it become more real than anything, because he done it in front of the whole world. So, but yeah, he ended up coming back way before me, thankfully. Obviously the heart's so complicated. His one was a different issue to mine. And then 4 months after, I got another operation to get the ICD placed in.
It's like a defect.
Yeah, defect placed in. And then since then, it's just been ready to go.
Incredible, really,
Yeah.
for you to now be here. And like, I suppose, like, obviously when you come in here on trial last season, you could see, I think you were a good 6-7 weeks training here, wasn't it? You could.
How long have you been out?
3
How long?
years.
3 years.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Before I played my game, it was.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone come in and be so hungry.
Yeah, I have a thing about coming on trial. Same thing I kind of did at Bournemouth. I don't speak to nobody. I'm here to do a job.
Yeah.
You come in every day and you were just on it.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't trained with a group for over 2.5 years. So I trained a little bit at Bromley, funny enough. They let me go in for 2 weeks because we ran a corner, and I trained there for a bit. And then I had to wait another 2.5 months before I came in here. And then once I come in here, I said, that's it. Like, I ain't doing that again. I already made a promise to myself that I wouldn't go on trial again. And now I have to.
Yeah, you had no choice. Yeah.
But I said, this
the way life is.
What I want to know before we go on to Swindon quick was how was everyone at Rangers and like, the way they dealt with you over that 2-year period? How was it? Obviously, you had some friends there as well.
Yeah,
which...
like, I've got some people there that will be lifelong friends. You know, I think the boys were amazing. The staff did as much as they could.
Yeah.
In terms of helping me out, it was in terms of on the medical side of things, it was so far past where football can operate. So it was kind of out of everyone's hands. But I mean, it's a massive club. They'll always be a part of my life based on some of the things I just experienced out there. And man, I wish them all the best.
I just remember, like, when you first come in, someone said to me, "Oh, you haven't done anything for 3 years." And I'm like, 3 years?
Yeah.
What? I can't believe it.
So obviously, because after leaving Rangers, based off that, just not getting to an agreement, no one would really let me come in and train until I came in here last Feb.
Yeah.
So I kind of just trained by myself. So since then till now, I've probably lost about 12, 15 kilos. So I had to train by myself. I had to go jogging by myself again. I hadn't jogged by myself. I hadn't jogged or like gone anything out of a walk for about 2.5 years. So I had to basically just start doing the basics. Just started from the ground, in terms of gym
Start
work
all
and
over again.
everything. So I was going to goals to play there Monday to Friday every single day. Myself, set up cons, couple footballs, and basically went like that until I came in here.
And that must have been, for that 3 years, mentally so tough. I remember, obviously, you made your debut here. Like, that must have been a proud moment to have gone through all of that and then coming here on trial. And it wasn't just like, oh, it's a week, you offered a contract. It was week after week, and you didn't give up. You just kept on going, obviously, rewarded with a contract. And then you made your debut here. How was that moment for you and obviously your family?
Yeah, I mean, I never really doubted that I wouldn't come back, but I know naturally for friends and family, it's like, what's the next step? You know? I went to see a specialist and he said, you got any backup plans? And I was like, no. And he was like, I think you need one. I was like,
I don't need one.
I don't need one. So, yeah, I think obviously a lot of people, as much as it affects me, I think my parents were affected, and my little sister was affected. People that have always known me to be a footballer, to know that could happen to someone who you'd expect to be the fittest or be the healthiest was a shock to everyone, and it kind of come out of nowhere. So I think it was a big day, more so for them, as much as it was for me. I had about 30 people come.
I was going to say there was a load.
all my friends come to the game. I think one of my friends even in non-league missed his game to come to my game. It was a really big moment. I believe that was 1,112 days out. So yeah, it was a big day, and then to finish the season like that, and thank you to Gav Gunning, obviously, because I trained there for 7-8 weeks, and he gave me the chance to come back and play, so I'll always be grateful to him as well.
And obviously the fans took a real liking to you in the back end of that season. I think it was Barrow away. I think, and I remember when you signed, like, as I said, my mate's a Rangers fan, and he was like this guy, like Gerard loved this guy, and he wanted to bring him in, and like I just heard off a few people, and then I remember watching that Barrow game with you with 59 on the back. I was like, it's hard. Like, obviously, I know you were training, but until you see somebody in an actual match, that's why it's so hard for some trialists. You don't get to see them in a match. I think once we've seen you in a match, I was like,
so I think that's probably why the trial took so long, because no one had the opportunity to say, like, can you play games? Because obviously there's still question marks about the health at the time. Obviously I've got rid of all of those, but to play in all those games like Barrow, and I believe my first start was Sutton, which we didn't have a good result, but Sutton's just around the corner from London, so
that was mad. First half we went in the crowd, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it did not go well.
We
were like, we better not be in the crowd second half.
It wasn't the best day, but it was my first start back. I remember I had to buy, on the bus on the way to Sutton, I had to buy about 40 home tickets, because the away end was full already, so I had to buy 40 home tickets to let people in. I had to go on Sutton's website and register as a member and buy 40 tickets. But yeah, even some of my friends' parents came, and my cousins who've never seen me play came, that some that when I was playing probably didn't even know what football really was and stuff like that. So it's really big for my family. Even every other game from till now, it's a big day for everyone. So yeah.
Nice. And then obviously going into the summer, got offered a new contract. How have you found your whole time at Swindon, and obviously this season? How's it been for you?
Yeah, no, I think based off last season, same as just the clubs on my past, I think I'm always gonna have a connection with Swindon, for doing this for me, and not only for me, for my family and everyone around me. I think this season started off tough, with the new manager coming in and so many players coming in. Managers have their players. That's just the way of football. I'm not really one to complain, to be fair. I wasn't really in the plans and whatnot. I said, I don't really care about that. I think in football, if you're good enough, people like you anyway.
Yeah.
So if your boys are getting your job done, then I'll put my hands up and say, you made the right decision. But if they're not, then you're gonna have to play me eventually. And obviously I wasn't really playing at the start of the season. And I started the season, well, right at the start of the season I was playing, and kind of fell out of favour and whatnot. And then we had the Cheltenham away game, which was a big game for the fans and everything.
Yeah.
Started in that game and played well. And I always say that no matter the circumstances, I always give a good account of myself on the football pitch.
Yeah, I have to say, you just said that you're thankful for Wickham, and then you just said that you're thankful for Swindon. I think you've earned all of that. Just like every time you go out on the pitch, we know when we watch you, you're going to give everything.
Yeah.
For example, when we went to Wickham this season, you was just all you could hear was there wasn't many fans in the stadium. All you could hear was you.
Yeah. No.
And like you're really good with the young lads. Obviously, you live with Dylan and a couple of the others.
So yeah, I'm obviously like I learned a lot from the older players and asking questions when I was younger.
You can see that you're now like passing that on to other people.
Yeah, I'm at that age now, unfortunately. You know, where people are coming to me for advice. You know,
Yeah, I would say you've earned every.
But yeah, no,
I agree.
Listen, I just love playing the game. You know.
Yeah.
And I know what I can do. I know how I can help people. I know how I can help the team. And that's what I'm gonna do. If I ever get a chance, like I said, if nothing's broken and nothing's torn, I'm out there. So, and in terms of like the fans and stuff like that, I'll always be very appreciative of the fans, because I can imagine as a kid going to games and speaking to first team players, that would have been the biggest thing in the world when I was younger. So if I ever get a chance to speak to any kid or any parent that comes and spends their money to come to games, that's what I'm gonna do.
This is such a good guy.
And obviously, our latest game, you scored an absolute thunderbolt.
I was going to say, let's bring it right up to now.
Talk us through that goal.
Yeah,
and
so
it's not very often we see you shoot from that distance.
see me, I'm not.
A little shift and a bang.
I'm a pass first guy. You know, I think as you can see from celebration wise, I'm the happiest person when other people score more than myself.
Have you seen that? You went the other way last week.
Yeah, was that the goal just to get?
Yeah, he's gone, he's jumping in the sky.
Yeah, so
Everyone else is the other way.
I didn't really even react much for my goal, but when other people score, I'm the happiest person in the world. I'll be the first one there, or I might be the last one there because I'm shouting with the fans or whatever. But I thought I was a lot closer to goal, so that's the first thing. I did not know I was that far until I watched it back after the game. The second
Were
thing
you
was,
even out?
Yeah, I seen the goal.
Oh yeah, you seen it. He wasn't out. Someone was out, and I
Bailey
went,
wasn't.
it was Bailey, and I've gone, Nnamdi just hit one from 45 yards. It's unbelievable.
yeah, so the second thing was, I knew that, I think I heard one of their players shout something, so I knew there was a man behind me. That's why I took my touch back that way.
Yeah.
And as I shot, the line of where I was and their centre half was huge. So
Was he blocking the keeper?
So he's blocking the keeper. So as it kind of swerved and it went left to right. So as it's kind of started off left, the keeper's for I'm going across goal.
Yeah.
And he's kind of made a little bit of a hash of it. But I think
Yeah, could he have done better?
I think on another day he saves it. I think on another day.
No, I don't think
I'm
any keeper.
honest,
For yours, I don't think any keeper saves it.
Hey, listen, we'll take it. Man.
Yeah.
Another W, another 3 points
Yeah,
in
and
the back. So.
last 5 games, 5 home games unbeaten, which can't remember probably since we've been here in the 6 years the last time that's happened, even when we've been doing well. It's just nice to get a bit of a fortress here again.
Yeah, I think you know, we're not dumb to the noise that we hear around. You know, we had the boos early in the season. Some people see on, so I'm not really a look on social media guy to see what's going on with the club, but obviously I know that some fans are not happy with the way that we've been playing and where the club's at now. And I think just to try a little bit hard, not that we're not trying anyway, but
show a bit of passion.
Yeah, just to show a bit of passion, show a bit of heart, does them a world of good. And I think when you do that, the results and the way of life will begin to go your way. So.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to watch recently. It's been a pleasure to have you on because, as we said earlier on, we've been waiting for this one for a long time.
And we could talk to Nnamdi forever. We could talk about Rashford. We could talk about Neymar.
Do you want to talk about Rashford? Because I actually don't mind.
Come on, just quickly. Let's give you 5 minutes.
This guy loves to debate, and we
loves to debate.
If I had to add up all the hours that we spend talking about this sort of stuff, it could go on. I remember with Melsham in pre-season, we were having some curry
Oh my God, yeah.
upstairs after the game, and we were sat there, we're going, 11 o'clock now. We're going to be back at
Come on,
the
Ams, wrap it up.
Me, I love I love football. I don't care what level it is, what country it is. If it's football, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna talk about it. If I even hear a whisper of football debates, I am involved straight away. And obviously, right now, everyone likes to disrespect the boy, Marcus Rashford, and I just think he's amazing. I think he should be playing for England. I think.
Okay, so who do you leave out?
I got a question to ask in a minute before we.
Who do I leave out?
Who do you leave out to get Rashford?
I don't think it's a personal thing. I just think.
I don't mean the person. I just. Like,
No. I think. You see, like how you say someone should be out. I think it should be.
You can only pick so many players. Can't
Yeah,
you?
I mean,
So-
like when you're making the list and you got your attackers. I think there's people that are just stamped. Like I think Saka is stamped. I think Harry Kane's stamped. Foden stamped. And then after that, Marcus Rashford should be. Me personally, you know who else I think should be
So
stamped?
regardless of form, regardless of how he's doing,
Your argument the other
with
day
his
was
team.
Grealish hadn't scored in.
There is performance for England and there's performance for club, and there's people that always rise up for England.
Yeah,
no matter what
I agree with
happens.
that.
Raheem Sterling rises up for England.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstances.
He should still be in England. team,
Marcus
right?
Rashford rose up in the World Cup and wasn't started. And what happened in that game against France? We lost. I don't listen. I might not know much, but I know.
So what you're saying, if Rashford had played that, we'd have beaten France.
Kane doesn't miss that penalty.
Nah, I think, but yeah, all jokes aside, like I think, like we spoke about Man United when we was playing pool, and I think, Man United has this culture with the fans that it's like they're so nitpicky, and I just don't understand why Rashford enjoying his life off the pitch has anything to do with him.
No, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't.
I don't understand why can't he go on holiday? Why would you pay footballers the money and not be surprised that they're spending the money? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Why would I be a millionaire if I can't go on a boat? You know what I'm saying? Or international break, I can't go to New York and have fun and see things that I've never seen before. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
To judge him based on that is just.
I think what the fans will say is,
That
as all fans say, well, he's not playing very well. He should be in the gym. He should be on the training pitch. He should do this 24 hours a day.
Well,
obviously,
that's
it's
what we
not.
said. Let the
you
football
can't.
do the talking.
Yeah, but I think I just.
But also, I remember you said a few days ago, Jack Grealish hadn't scored in 2024, and nothing's really been said about like him and
Yeah, I think.
Not playing in the England team.
and he's been in the England
Yeah,
team.
I think we know some people get away with more things than others. Obviously, Grealish is a baller, and obviously it's not really working out for him right now. But even he's had his fair share where people are judging him, and I don't think that's gonna make anybody play better. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like
I agree.
if I knew 70,000 of you didn't like me in the stadium,
Has Anthony Gordon done his matches then? That's what
but
you could go on.
you
You could
see,
speak.
as
I've
a footballer, like
himself.
I know, and a lot of people know, a confident footballer is a dangerous footballer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether they're good at football. They might not even be good at the basics of football, but a confident one and someone that knows that they have people behind them is a very good footballer.
There's also players that, when they're confident, they are very good. So they are a good player.
Yeah,
But when they're not confident, the level drops.
yeah,
And I think that might be something that we've seen a little bit of here.
yeah.
So
For
since the gaffer's come in, he's lifted everyone's spirit, and everyone's confidence and motivation and everything. And everyone's playing 10%, 15% better.
Yeah,
So therefore the team are better,
For sure.
so our form's better, so we're rising up the league.
for sure.
It's exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah,
Yeah.
football's a game of opinions. Whether you're
100%.
a player, whether you're a fan, whether you're a coach, manager, it's a game of opinion. People are in favour due to what a manager likes, so on.
Yeah.
But certain people can get more out of players.
Yeah, I think obviously there's some players that need some things more than others. You know, some people need the manager to put their arm around them.
Yeah.
Some people might need to be told that they're not doing well enough to react to that.
Yeah.
Some people need the fans. Some people honestly feel like they're playing in the stadium by themselves. It just depends on what the person is, and I just think that I think people need to be more understanding with the fact that you're going on social media and abusing somebody is not gonna make them play better. It just doesn't correlate.
And what's to say that I personally think Rashford needs to move, just because a manager's come in and there's obviously something not right there. We don't know. I think he needs to get a move. And what's to say Tuchel might not like him and then he's back in the frame. Football can change so quick.
Yeah, football, honestly, a good 6 months can change your football career forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think on just the standpoint of the way people talk about football now, I think one, there's too many idiots with opinions. That's for sure.
Agreed.
Like you don't know what's happening at the training ground. You don't know what's happening at training.
The day to day.
You don't know why we're set up this way.
Yeah, and what's going on in people's lives.
You don't know if people are fully fit or if they're not fully fit. You don't know if this person had problems at home and they're training, and you just come on Saturday, and I understand you paid your money, and I understand it means so much to you because it means so much to us. It's not like you care more than us, we care just as much. But I just think people need to be very choice with their words.
I got 2 questions just before we sort of wrap up. Obviously, Dele Alli's just signed for Como, which is interesting.
Yeah.
At Bellingham's age now, who was better, him or Dele Alli?
Bellingham's the best.
Yeah.
Bellingham is the best.
I don't know, I just seen this debate not long ago.
I seen yesterday that Bellingham was valued as the most valuable player in the world.
I think Bellingham is.
That's probably a bit of a stupid question.
No,
because Dele Alli.
A lot of people would
I
his
say
prime was a joke.
a lot of people would say Dele Alli. You like we've had this discussion in the change room. Even me at one point I was like, maybe, but I think Jude Bellingham is like
On a different level.
he is.
Just the way he carries himself
How
as well.
yeah,
Such a young
in the
lad.
tournaments, how much, like what game was it where he scored that goal? Who did we
Slovakia.
play?
The bossy, yeah.
Like that moment, and just like he literally led, not
How old is he? Got 20?
might be
19,
21.
20? 21
He
maybe?
should be about 21.
And he's leading the national team.
I think.
Like, it's mad. What were you doing at 21? You were in. What was I doing? But like, do you know what I mean though? He's 21 years old, he's playing at the biggest club in the world. He's winning the Champions Leagues. He's like
I think
playing for England, leading England at
the
21
reason
years old.
people go against him or try and look for faults in him because everything's been too movie
perfect
right now. But me personally, I just think
it's like people
because
look.
he's so good.
It's like people look for something
For
to
the
go wrong.
negative, yeah.
It's anyway.
We do it.
And yeah, it'd be nice to see Dele Alli hopefully finally get back playing again. We'll see, but
obviously everyone knows. Well, it's kind of a thing that I say with some of the young lads and that, and sometimes I say only footballers really understand footballers because no one really understands how it feels to be on this side of the fence. So I'm actually happy that he's got a new club. You know, hopefully he can do a comeback and do his thing, and hopefully not even more so just do a comeback and get back to them heights. I just hope that he has peace.
He's for himself.
Yeah, because I know a bit about being in stages like that where things are just always up in the air and you're just alone a lot.
the amount of spotlight he's probably had on him over the last 2 or 3 years, and obviously come out and did that interview, which hopefully people saw him in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, I think people forget that footballers are people.
Yeah,
you know.
it's one.
But they are people's superheroes, so I
Yeah.
understand like those footballers that I mentioned earlier, they're my superheroes. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
Rashford's like a superhero to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, my boy comes to every game, and when I told him you were on the pod today, he was like, Nnamdi Ofoborh.
that's my guy.
Do you know what I mean? We were on the phone to my missus before we come on, and I said, "Oh, Nnamdi's coming in a minute. What are you saying? Like we're setting up and that." And my boy's in the background. And he just goes, "Nnamdi Ofoborh." I'm going, yeah, Nnamdi Ofoborh. He loves you.
That's what it's all about for me. That's what it's all
One last question that I forgot to ask when we were doing the pool,
about.
because usually we talk about kits and superstitions, which we did, but I forgot to ask, favourite kit that you've swapped or collected from a player?
Good
Ooh,
question
that's
to
a
finish
good
with.
question. I got a Raheem Sterling shirt.
So have we.
Raheem Sterling, yeah, that's
Yeah.
my guy.
Which the Man City one?
Yeah, I played against him at Man City. I was playing centre half, right centre half, and it was drawing 1-1. He ended up coming on. I'm thinking, you know what, this game might go to, it goes straight to pens. It goes to pens.
Were you at Wickham?
No, I was at Bournemouth.
Oh, that was a Bournemouth, right?
I was like, oh man, we're chance of knocking them out right now. This could be,
Raheem comes on and
That's what I'm saying.
okay,
And tired at this point. I look over at the bench, bringing on him and De Bruyne at the same time.
Oh.
Am I right?
It's only a matter of time.
Am I right in saying that obviously you've asked for a shirt? Am I right in saying he asked for your one back?
Yeah, so
No.
so basically what was happening was, because he was directly against me, he was
Yeah,
right
yeah.
next to me when the final whistle went, so I was like, do you think it's okay? Because when you're playing at City, you know, it's like a flipping rat race, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So
we know.
we've had
Yeah,
it.
we've
You know
had
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if
we've
you're
seen that.
even just a second late, or you're on the next side of the pitch, you're not getting that shirt. So
That's why this is the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Because Kitman comes to you and he's like, yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, so obviously I said to him, like, straight away, I was like, listen, like, obviously you're Raheem Sterling kind of thing, like, you're that guy. Can I get your shirt? And he was like, yeah. But obviously, Jaden is a massive fan of Mahrez. And I remember, like, 2 years before that, when I used to, like, be 19th man and whatever, and hang around the change room or whatever, I remember I got a Mahrez shirt. One of the players ended up helping me get a Mahrez shirt, and we used to just take turns. Like, 1 week I'd have the shirt, and then he'd
His
have the
touch,
shirt.
by the way, like just his touch.
Yeah, he was just
Jokes.
so he didn't get to come on. So after I've confirmed the shirt with Sterling, I've run across the pitch. Yeah, so I've got mine, so
You're
I'm good.
But so Sterling said to you, can I have your shirt?
No, so at first he was like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
we
cool.
can swap, but we'll do it in the tunnel.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've just skated off and gone to Mahrez and been like, listen, Mahrez, my friend on the bench, he didn't get the chance to come on, but he's a massive fan of you, hell of a player, like, can you get your shirt? And then I think Lewis Cook, great guy by the way,
Yeah.
he was swapping shirts to Mahrez and he was like, let Jay have it. So he let him have it. So as Jay's come off the bench and I was like, Jay, listen, done you a favour, like, I sorted it out. He's like, oh bro, thank you. I'm like, yeah. Because Jaden's a City fan. So, and then I walked into the tunnel and like, the steps, it's kind of like steps that take you to where the change rooms are.
Yeah.
So as I'm kind of walking, I'm just kind of looking down, like, oh, you know, I had a good game and whatnot.
Where was it? Was it at Man City?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Man City. So
Yeah.
as I'm kind of walking up the stairs, I'm like, oh, you know, I had a good game, and everyone's telling me I had a good game and whatnot. And then like he's kind of just bumped into me, so he's like standing in front of me, and he's like, oh, like, giving me the shirt, and I was like, thanks. And I went to walk off, and he's like, no, where you going? He's like, take off yours, and I was like, why? And he was like, oh, no, you have to sort. I mean,
So he's got your
I'm
shirt
gonna go
somewhere.
tell everyone that, you know,
The Raheem Sterling
he thinks
one
I'm a
was-
baller and he took my shirt. So I gave it to him, and yeah, it was a really good moment. If I see him, I'll say, you know what, remember that time?
Quick fire.
Remember, but yeah,
As we
Fine.
always say, memories make shirts.
Yeah,
for sure.
but some of these shirts, like
Yeah.
the memory of the shirt, makes some of them better than the other ones, even if they're a better shirt.
100%.
To us.
100%.
for sure.
Yeah, quick fire question, quick. Yes or no, swapping shirts at half time?
No.
I thought you'd be yeah, we're
Good for
yeah.
you. I think that about wraps us up.
Yeah.
We could go all night.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been
Who knows? I
amazing.
might come on again before the season ends. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
We know
We'll-
more.
You know what we'll have to do? We'll have to do the big debate too. Have a topic, get you and some of the other boys in, and we'll have a proper good go with it.
Very selective of who we get on that.
Well,
team.
you can choose. Because there'll be some rascal shouts in there. Just before we go, we want to say thank you to our main sponsor, Infra 3. Without their support, we couldn't do this every week. Thanks again to Riley Leisure for the pool videos and all the rest of it. Thanks to Nnamdi for coming on.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Let's get them up to like 5,000. We're close. Cheers, guys.
See you later.